Hello, beautiful people. It's another brand new day, and I'm super excited that you tuned into my podcast for today. Thank you so very, very much. It gives me so much delight and it gives me so much joy that you tune in. I remain your host, Andrew Olugbo, and it's my desire that you become a better version of who you are. That's why I'm committed to doing this, to ensure you get better. That's one of the promises I've made to my generation and one of the promises I've made to myself, that each day I must become better. And so on the Metamorphose podcast, I share life-changing secrets that can help us navigate through life and that can help us upgrade on a daily basis. On today's podcast, I'll be talking about a beautiful topic titled 3 healthy ways to handle criticisms. And I would like to start with the quote by Herbert Hubbard. It says, "To avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing." And this is so apt because we live in a world whereby we are being criticized on a daily basis. And so you must learn how to handle criticisms if you truly want to navigate and if you truly want to achieve success and if you truly want to achieve greatness. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines criticism as the act of criticizing, usually unfavorably, which means to find fault with something. So it means when you are criticizing something, sometimes it means you are trying to find fault with it. It also defines criticism as the merit and demerit of something and judging accordingly. What it simply means is evaluating something. So evaluating the merit and demerit. And this brings me to two types of criticism, which are constructive criticisms and destructive criticisms. And so the question is, what are constructive criticisms? Constructive criticisms are those criticisms someone offers you with the intention to help you get better, to enable you to do that action properly. It doesn't affect your self-esteem, it doesn't affect your ego, but the person's purpose of doing this is to help you do better so that next time you can produce a better result. So that's something about constructive criticisms. But destructive criticisms, on the other hand, are those criticisms that are aimed at tarnishing your self-esteem, which aims to belittle you, makes you feel you are worthless and feel as though you are good for nothing. So you must be able to understand these 2 types of criticisms and know which one to take. So that means, and my advice and my counsel to you today is this: take hold of constructive criticisms while dispatch destructive ones. Those criticisms that aims to pull you down, that makes you not to achieve, that makes you feel as though you can do nothing better. So you must learn to be able to separate constructive criticisms from destructive ones if you truly want to achieve. Abraham Lincoln once said, "He has a right to criticize who has a heart to help." Anyone who is qualified to criticize you must have a heart to help. That means when somebody is criticizing you for your work you did not do well, check to know the intention. If the person has a heart to help, or is just trying to make you feel worthless and feel as though you are not good enough. So you should be able to understand what if they are constructive criticisms or if they are what? Destructive criticisms. And I would like to offer 3 healthy ways on which we can handle criticisms. If we truly want to be a high flyer, if you truly want to achieve the most of your life. Because I will say this, criticisms, even though sometimes they can be destructive, I can tell you, it has enabled high achievers to become successful more and more. That's why you hear in business will tell you the customer is always right. Not in the sense that everything the customer says is right, but because if you understand that your customers who are using your product, if you understand their pain points when they are using your product, then you can be able to serve them better. So when they criticize you, for example, you are not just trying to be defensive because of what you have done, but because you understand that inside this customer may be the next idea I need for my business explosion and my business success. So you should always note that, because if you truly want to excel, then you must be able to handle criticisms. You must learn how to. And those are the 3 ways I want to share today. And I call it the APA method, the APA method. And the A stands for accept criticisms. I know sometimes when we are criticized for something we did, our natural tendencies and our default setting is to be defensive and try to tell the person why you did that thing, why it should be that way. But be a person that is open to learning. To be open to learning. Be flexible. Don't just say whatever somebody is saying is trash, but be willing to listen. So accept it. So when I'm trying to say about accept, I'm not trying to say the person is correct. No, but all I'm trying to make you understand is be open-minded. Be open-minded. Receive it. And when you're receiving it, then you can possibly then know the next thing to do. So be open to criticisms. Don't be a person whereby people are afraid to tell you what to do wrong, because that's how some people are. You can't tell them that they are wrong, because the moment you tell them that they are wrong, you have become their enemy, and that's not good for you. It's not good for business. It's not good for your personal development. So when somebody walks up to you with confidence to tell you what you did wrong, yes, accept it. Be willing to listen. Yes, that's what I mean. Be open-minded. Show gratitude to those who offer constructive criticism. Thank every person who offers you positive feedback, for they want you to succeed. So when someone offers you a criticism, be thankful, be grateful to that person. Be grateful to that person, because it means that person has seen something that he or she thinks in his or her opinion that is not right, and they want you to correct. So be open-minded, be willing to listen, and then you can now go over to the number 2 method, which I call process the criticism. Be kind to yourself when you receive destructive feedback. Give yourself positive self-talk and a treat. Tell yourself that the criticism hurts, but the thought doesn't define you. So when you receive a negative criticism, for example, or a destructive one, learn to encourage yourself. So that's why in processing the criticism, then you learn to filter. It's in this filtration process, then you will, just like in science, there's what we call the filtrate and there's what we call the residue. So the filtrate is what you need, then while the residue is you discard it. So be willing to accept criticism, be open-minded, but once you have done that, think over it, process it, to check to know why the person said this. And if only you can do that, you are on your way to becoming a success. So process the criticism no matter what. Avoid taking the criticism personal. When someone criticizes, for example, don't take it personal. Understand that it is what you did that is being criticized and not you as a person. Because when we take it personal, sometimes we get emotional about it, and that alone can make us not make the most of that word criticism. Number 3, which I call from the APA method, APA, the third letter A means act wisely. So it means once you have accepted the criticism, you have processed it, and you have been able to know the pros and the cons, you are able to take the good part out of it and throw away the negative, then you need to act based on that criticism. Act positively. Take the right action. Maybe somebody is telling you about something you did not do well. Look for ways on how you can do it better, on how you can maximize it, and how you can become better and better. I trust that these 3 ways I've outlined will help you navigate through criticisms. So our professional and personal success is dependent on how we'll handle criticisms. Because whether we like it or not, we will be criticized every day of our lives. So learning how to handle criticism is a skill that is needed in the marketplace if you truly must become all that you really want to be. I will end today's podcast with the words of the wisest man that ever lived, King Solomon, which says, "To be counted among the wise, you must learn to accept helpful criticism. If you refuse to be corrected, you are only hurting yourself. Listen to criticism and you will gain understanding." I will say that again. To be counted among the wise, you must learn to accept helpful criticism. If you refuse to be corrected, you are only hurting yourself. Listen to criticism and you will gain understanding. Thank you so very much. I trust that with these few points of mine, enough to set you on the right track to be able to handle the next criticism that will come your way. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast for today. I remain your host, Andrew Olugbo, and you can reach me on all my social media handles. On Instagram at Andrew ANDREWOLOGBO, on Twitter at Ologbo_Andrew, on LinkedIn as Ologbo Andrew, on Facebook as Andrew Olugbo. Thank you so very much for tuning into my podcast for today. I trust that you got value. I'll be awaiting your feedbacks and your comments. Thank you so very much. Peace.